Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed ministers of Singapore held today on the sidelines of the 25th edition of Singapore-India bilateral. Today's media briefing will commence with the Raksha Mantri of the Singapore Defence Minister, Dr. Neng Heng Tai. Ministers will be taking one question each only from the media. Before asking the question, please introduce yourself.
I'm Sunil from Australia. The cyclones have been regular.
Between India and Singapore has grown significantly in recent years and emerged as a key pillar of our partnership. Our defense dialogue is strong and intensive, encompassing the annual secretary-level dialogue, defense policy dialogue, the defense working group, staff talks, joint exercises between all three services, and training exchanges. We have identified areas for cooperation between our research and development establishments and also for defense industry cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of the bilateral engagements, today we have commemorated the 25th anniversary of the India-Singapore Maritime Bilateral Exercise, SIMBEX. This exercise, which commenced in 1994, is one of the oldest uninterrupted bilateral naval exercise India has with any other country, which is a statement and a testament of the long-standing ties between our armed forces. I would like to convey my compliments to all the personnel from both sides who have worked tirelessly to make this milestone event a success. We have also renewed today the bilateral agreement for the conduct of joint army training and exercises in India. This agreement gives out an exhaustive framework for the conduct of joint training as well as exercises for the Singapore Armed Forces in India and will further strengthen the cooperation between our armed forces. India is committed to continued support for the Singapore Armed Forces training in India. We also discussed use of India's firing ranges by the Singapore Armed Forces for their specialist weapons firing. The progress in defense technology cooperation under the auspices of India-Singapore Defense Technology Steering Committee and the India-Singapore Defense Industry Working Group was also reviewed. Issues relating to regional security, the maritime security in the Indian Ocean, and the broader security concerns in the Asia-Pacific region were also discussed. India supports freedom of navigation, overflight, and unimpeded lawful commerce consistent with international law, including the United Nations Convention on the Laws of the Seas. We also believe that disputes should be resolved through peaceful means and in accordance with the universally recognized principles of international law. We reaffirm the importance of international cooperation in tackling transnational security threats and in particular measures to collectively tackle the threat of terrorism. I'm happy to note that Minister Ng reaffirmed Singapore's position in support of these principles. From our discussions today, I am confident that we will be entering a new era in our defense partnership with Singapore. We hope to carry forward these discussions further to support initiatives that would promote stability in the region. I once again thank Minister Ng for visiting India. I now invite Minister Ng to give his remarks.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to ask you that what are the plans that we have got to induct women into the combat region? That is one. And second one is with both the navies and defense level dialogues, what role we could see.
The Prime Minister had made a statement during the Independence Day speech from the Red Fort, that first of all we'll start with giving permanent commission option for those women who are in the short service commission. So that option has already been opened up. All the three forces have said that from short service commission, as much as men come in, women will also be given the option to join for permanent commission. So that step has already been taken. For that, many of the can I call it departments, segments within each of the forces, Navy, Army and Air Force, have already been opened up. So as regards specifically on combat role, which you've asked me about, progressively I hope to have women in combat roles also, but that probably is going to be after a while. So that's the question on the women in combat, but of course on Malacca Straits, I would invite the Minister.
Well, for us, we see it as a contiguous body of water, Malacca Straits leading to the waters around the Andaman and Nicobar. And in fact, for commercial shippers, it is a contiguous body of water. It's indivisible. So from that point of view, we are fully supportive of India being included in the Malacca Straits Patrol. But of course, there are other littoral states to be consulted, and we hope that we can get an agreement. But in the meantime, I think we can do our part, and if we can have the inaugural exercise for the trilateral countries in the Andaman waters, I think it lends itself to finally all the littoral states participating together for a common era of security interests. Our respective agencies in both our militaries will step up information and intelligence sharing, whether it's for maritime security, humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, terrorism threats. We are geographically separated, but connected by transboundary issues and connected geographically by very critical sea lines of communication in the waters that we talked about. So this is one aspect in the joint statement which we thought we would underscore, and that we would step up information and intelligence sharing. Lanba, command staff, and the Indian Ministry of Defence for hosting this visit for myself and my delegation, including my Chief of Navy. We had very productive visits to the Andamans, Nicobar and Port Blair in particular. As the Minister has said, we conducted the 25th bilateral exercise between our Navy and the Indian Navy, and longest uninterrupted exercise for India. Just this afternoon, this morning, we witnessed a very successful live firing that was conducted. Happy to report that our investments in our capabilities have borne fruit, and missiles hit the targets that they were supposed to. And that's always comfort to defense ministers. But it's also a testament to the trust, the professionalism that 25 years of exercises have afforded us, and it signals and spells a very bright future for deepening of our defense ties. Our ties with India are indeed strong and long-standing, and built on the shared perspectives and common interests that Minister Nirmala has just, Sitaraman has just emphasized, particularly on maintaining maritime freedom of navigation in a manner consistent with international law. And today we discuss more substantive collaborations by way of the Army bilateral agreement, by way of the Navy implementing arrangement concerning mutual coordination, logistics and services support. These agreements affirm and point the direction to even further deepening of ties and collaboration. Singapore is very supportive of India's vital role in the security of the Indo-Pacific region, and we share common security interests geographically, that is the Straits of Malacca and the Andaman Seas, which is really a continuous body of water that is a critical sea lines of communication. And we are completely supportive of Prime Minister's